Okay, hope everybody is enjoying the extra day off here. Today is President's Day. The market is closed in observance for the President Day. Let's go and take a look at the market here. As you recall from last week, we essentially was on watch for the new high, or at least for the market to come up and tag its previous all-time high. And looking at the Dow Jones, remember the previous video that we were talking about that it broke this particular trend line and also came up to this resistance here. Essentially, we're watching for it to come up above this resistance and come up and tag this particular all-time high. Well, it got closed on Friday, but it did not, tag the all-time high. So we probably won't be surprised to see this come up and tag this and possibly put in a new all-time high in the coming day. So, and also for looking at the S&P 500, the S&P 500 actually made a new all-time high, and it came up and surpassed that on Friday. See, we recall that there was a video that we talk about the breadth, particularly the advanced decline line was kind of indicating to us that the S&P 500 was going to come up and tag its all-time high if it's not put in a new all-time high. So right now we're essentially seeing a new all-time high, and also the breadth indicator is still remain to be strong. So believe that there should be a further high from the S&P 500. Might see a little pullback, but it's going to be, if any kind of pullback come through in the coming day, it'd be very shallow. It won't be too much. Be surprised if it will come down to retest this level here, this pivot. Maybe it come back down and test this 2075, this pivot high here. But I do see the market continue to move to higher. And now the Nasdaq 100 also made a new multi-year high. I believe this is a like a 15-year high or so. So it's getting close. The Nasdaq market is getting close to that 2000, year 2000, that 5,000 level. So I wouldn't be surprised that we actually go up there and tag it before this market turn over. But for now, at least the price actions still remain pretty strong. And again, we're expecting this market to continue to move higher. And similarly, on the Russell 2000, came up and made a new all-time high. The previous week, we're talking about this level here that was getting close, like 5 point away from the all-time high. So it got a little pullback, and then we came back up and bounced nicely. Matter of fact, it gapped up on Thursday. So right now, the Russell is still fairly strong. Again, just like the S&P 500 and the Nasdaq, continue to look for new high until we see some deterioration in the market breadth or something to give us a sign that the market is topping out, or at least have peaked out on this particular swing move. But right now, I have not seen any sort of sign that tell us that's what is about to do yet. So right now, although that a lot of people might be a little bit more cautious and awaiting what the Greece debt renegotiation is going to happen today, and that kind of stuff. But I believe all these things is all temporary anyway. These geopolitical things, they will do what they need to do to make sure that the euro and the eurozone will survive no matter what. And regardless if Greece going to exit out or not, they're going to do whatever they're going to do because there's too much invested on there, all these debt and QE and all these stuff. They have to get a handle on that. Otherwise, everybody is just going to blow up around the world on all these central bankers. So I wouldn't be too concerned about whatever good news or bad news coming out of Greece or coming out of the eurozone. This week. In regardless what the negotiation going to be. And if we do get a negative result coming out of a negative announcement coming out of that, we might get this little sell-off, and that might be opportunity for those that were standing at the sideline while this move is taking place to maybe get in and buy some of the off the dips. So anyway, let's go and take a look at some of the stock, and let's start off with Netflix. And we're talking about Netflix coming up, to this level here, where there might be some trap long here that want to get out. and then we saw a little bit of a pullback, and we're basically looking for a little bit more of a pullback and maybe possibly come down to somewhere around this 618, maybe down at this 403 level. Then that would be a good opportunity to maybe start looking for some sort of setup to go long. But apparently it has a different idea because it is sort of continue to move up. And right now, if I snuck this up there, even though still, if we pull back to 618, it's still kind of get within this this earning gap here. Right now, it's coming up and tagging this particular resistance here. So if it could break this level here, then the chances are we probably will see it maybe come up and try to tag this high here. So that's one of the possibility because right now it's kind of bumping up to this resistance. So we'll kind of keep an eye on Netflix. If you're long on this, then just keep on holding it and just trail it up. But if you're not, I wouldn't be chasing it. So, and then we'll look at GoPro. Again, it's GoPro, although it seems like getting a little bit bounced, but I still believe that this stock is going lower and possibly, get down to this particular level here, somewhere around this 35, 38 level. So, and if we, it's this little bit of a bear flag, and if we do a little bit of a bear flag major move on 100%, that brings it down to 33. But near the 80% point, will be somewhere around this 37, 38 level. Then the BABA is still kind of holding off. Remember we were talking about this breakdown of this sort of like an H pattern or the the H pattern for those that is not familiar with that. Right, so it's sort of like an H, and then when it breaks down, we're basically looking at this particular 127, somewhere around the 8250 level, and pretty much down at this this low here. Right? Okay, so and we were also saying that if it get a bounce up here, then get a bounce back up here, then it just move this pivot point lower, then it will probably bring it down to the 80 level, and seem like that's what it is doing right now because we got a little bounce, and maybe it could bounce up back up to this particular level here, somewhere near the IPO opening price, that 92.70. Right? So it could bounce back up here somewhere, this level here. Right, which is similar to to this level, this IPO opening price. So that could be one possibility, and then start breaking down again. Because if we take a look at this, if I move this back down now to this level here, so if we get a break, let's say for example that the price will come back up. Let's say come back up and get back up to a 618. So that would probably bring it up to somewhere around this, this 92.70. Right. So if we get up to the 618, then it break down. So let me do this. All right. So if this price come up and then break down here, then now we're basically talking about maybe possibly get down to this 127 level, which is somewhere down at the $80 mark. Okay. And then Facebook is still kind of showing kind of weakness here. You see this, the descending triangle, and it's just unable to get back up above this level here, this 78.27. We wanted to see it get back up above this level, then maybe it could work itself up at the to the 82. But look like it's kind of losing that momentum. Once we're trying to come up here, right now it seems to be heading back down and possibly come down and test this particular level, this 71, 33, essentially this gap here. Right, this previous earning gap, and if we also try to do a little bit of a major move of this as descending triangle, and so if we do this a little bit more major move here, and if we get down to about the 80% point, that would be somewhere around 67. So and let me go to this. So let me scoot this over and see what kind of price level that we might see. So it will be somewhere around this level here. Right? Okay. So this is basically close to sort of 80% level. Right? And here's the 100% level. So we're essentially probably looking at maybe somewhere around at that 64. Right? so 64 and then 67 area if Facebook is gonna break down. Let's see here. Okay, so if come back down below the 73.33 and then get down to the 71, the 71.33, if it break below the 71.33, we most likely will see it to come down and trace it back down to somewhere around this 78 level here. So kind of keep an eye on that, because here, if you look at this, also if we just take a look at the, let me take this out and then take a look at it on a Fibonacci retracement basis, and as you can see, that 71.33 is close to this 127 extension here on this Fibonacci retracement, this particular swing. So we got to watch this 71.33 for now. So the first thing is, can it hold this 73.33? Right, so if it breaks below this point here, then the chances are it's probably going to come down and try to tag this 71.33. And the next one, Twitter. Twitter is kind of showing some strength. As a matter of fact, it's kind of reverse of Facebook. It's kind of, after the earning, you see this big volume coming in. So it's actually kind of nice little reversal going on here. And if we see, just kind of zoom in on the weekly chart here, you can see this big trend here. It's actually coming up and breaking this trend line. Also, coming up on this higher low. So if we get this break, and maybe we could see this come up to 56. So Twitter is actually looking much more positive than Facebook here. So the key thing is right now it's kind of getting up here and fill this gap here. So essentially we're looking for it to come up here near this 56, because it filled this gap. If we're going to see any pullback, we might see a pullback to this level here. So if we take a look at it, if we put a Fibonacci retracement, this would be a 78.6. And if we pull back to fill this gap to 618, then come back down to this 40, close to this 44 level. So we certainly don't want to see it to pull back into the gap here. To fill that gap, then that would be a little bit of a negative. But we'd like to see this thing come up and maybe possibly tag this 127, which is also in confluent with this particular level here. Right? Okay, so if we could get up to this 127, which is somewhere around 53, then possibly work itself up to close to this 168, which is this level here. Right? Somewhere around the 56. Okay. And then Tesla, let's take a look at Tesla here. Tesla came out with earning and wasn't too favorable, but I guess Elon did a little bit PR stuff, and I guess there's still a lot of Tesla lover out there to kind of push the stock up, and it's trying to fill this gap. I do believe that Tesla still got a little bit more downside to go, and most likely will come down and tag this trend line here. And if we let's go take a look at on the weekly, so you can see that possibly might come down to this particular pivot level here, near the 177 area. Okay, so probably want to keep an eye on Tesla here. I wouldn't be chasing this unless you're just doing some quick trade, and maybe you could scalp some a few points here on this little swing up, because you could see there is this 50-day moving average kind of coming down, and also the 20 EMA. So the price might come up and bump up against those potential resistance here, which is also in confluence with this particular trend line here. I mean this particular gap here, this pivot, right? This candle here. So you just kind of keep an eye on that if we want to play a little bit of a scalp and scalp the little bit of a impulse bounce here. But I do see it going down a little bit more. And then we're looking at Amazon. Again, Amazon, we're essentially looking forward to a pullback from this particular level here, and it failed to do so. It's just continued to move up, after the earning, gap here. So it's been quite strong. So right now, if I move this back up, so even though if it pull back to the 618, which is somewhere around these 345 level, which is close to this particular pivot high somewhere around here. So if we could pull back to that, to this 345, that would be an interesting area to look for some possibility of swinging long here. Because if we take a look at it on a weekly chart here, you can see that it come up here and right now kind of tagging this particular resistance level here. So I wouldn't be surprised that it might come up and tag this, its all-time high up here at the 406 level. So, and then the next one is Google. Again, Google, we're looking at the breakout actually, this W pattern here, right? So kind of, and it got this little doji here, and then the earning came out and it popped it up. So, and then we are talking about this particular engulfing candle here. Right, so we're looking forward to break out of this, earning, post-earning engulfing candle, right? This particular candle. So you can see that on Thursday it broke through that, and also broke through this pivot on this particular sort of like a double bottom pattern, or a W pattern here. So right now we're essentially looking for Google possibly to make it up to this 567, 568 level. Okay. And then going back and take a look at Apple. Apple have a very interesting week. First, let's take a look at on the weekly chart. And I posted that the weekly chart looks very good, right, with this solid candle here. Once it broke this particular pivot, this 119, it made a very strong move after the earning announcement. But then I also caution that the daily is not too favorable, because if we take a look at the candle formation here, right, we got a little bit of spinning top here, got this gap here, and I was saying that on after that on my Twitter, I posted saying that be careful on the following day, which is on Friday, to make sure we don't want to see a gap down open. If a gap down open, then it could possibly forming a potential evening star type of pattern, and which that would be very negative, right? We call that on a weekly chart here. Let me see if I could go back to this, 2012. You see this, right, on a weekly. We see this, evening star pattern, and that started, that entire move down, right? Okay, so you can see that's pretty negative, and that's kind of giving up, like 50%, right, retracement there. So, and that was basically what I was alluding to when we were talking about on a daily, on the daily time frame. But right now, if you look at it on, on after the Friday's close, even though we didn't get a gap up, it wasn't that good of a pattern here. This is a hangman type of a pattern, candle, and at the bottom of a move, then that would be a hammer, which would be positive. Then we were looking for a gap up or some kind of reversal candle to price action to confirm that that hammer. So right now we essentially have to pay attention to see what kind of price action we're going to see, to cause this to confirm this particular reversal or potential reversal candle. Not necessarily saying that it will, it's just that it's a cautionary flag that we have to kind of keep an eye on. That's why I say, shh, listen, right? Because, recall back in 2012, there was everybody is a bull on Apple. There's all of these people is just talk about the positive thing about Apple. Is, so when everybody is in love with a particular stock, okay, just like, for example, like Apple, I mean, everybody want to own a particular stock. Everybody that want to own Apple is already owning it. Okay, then we're all the new buyer. So that's why we have to be cautious about that. When too many people is too hyped up, too much in love with a particular stock, that's when you have to start being very cautious, and especially when you're seeing some of these price action. Not saying that every time that it will do that. See, like here, you see this particular, evening star pattern. We got a little bit of a correction, but we did not get the same thing here when we sort of, getting a sort of like an evening star pattern. It just kind of pulled back a little bit and then took off, right? So it's not saying that every time it does that, it will do what these pattern will, signify it's going to do, because it's a probability game, right? So it's just that we have to be a little bit more cautious and just kind of keep an eye on this particular pattern here in the coming week. Because the other thing is, if we go back and look at the weekly, even though the weekly have a strong candle, and let's say this coming week, Apple started out strong and it's closed down, and if we do happen to get a candle, right, a candle that is coming down, right, like this, okay, let's say this, a red candle is coming down, this is equal to, when we add these two candles up, this is basically equal to, a shooting star type of pattern, right? So at the top for, of a move, when we see a shooting star, that is also kind of have to be cautious. It could potentially become a, reversal type of a candle, right? So that's why I say be cautious. Don't get too hyped up on things. Watch the price action. So. And let's take a look at the couple of the financials that I put up last week. On Goldman Sachs. We're looking at Goldman Sachs, and essentially it was trying to break about this pivot, and you can see that it made a nice run up, and sort of maybe tagging a little bit of resistance here. So wouldn't be surprised to see a little bit of a pullback before I make another move, and maybe come back up and try to take out this 196, 197 area. And same thing with B of A. With B of A, essentially was looking at, didn't do too much because it was sitting here near this, pivot resistance here, right, before the last week, trading week start. So it kind of pulled back a little bit, and then now it's coming back up and try to, take out this level again. So if we could take out this level, because you can see that it's kind of got a little bit of a pullback, then maybe we could take see this thing might move up to the 1740, and maybe this time it will come up and take out the, this 18, dollar level and move to a little bit higher level here. So that's it for now, and good luck on your trading for the coming week.